prospecting tips and techniques. Hi, I'm Paul R. Atkinson, your real estate coach. Today we're going to talk about prospecting tips and techniques. Before we get started, of course, please hit that subscribe button so you can be alerted anytime I bring something new and fresh that can help you to increase your production. Also send me a comment on something that you might not see here today that you would like, or if you just want to give me some feedback. Positive feedback is always good. But listen, any kind of feedback is good. Sometimes we have to make changes, right? So please feel free, guys. You know how I feel about it. I love realtors. I love real estate agents. And I love to see you produce and make top dollar. So let's talk about prospecting tips and techniques. What are some of the things that come to your mind when you think about prospecting tips and techniques? Prospecting techniques. Go in the comment block and just shoot me a quick comment. What comes to your mind real quickly? What's your number one prospecting technique? Just share it. I'm going to give you many prospecting tips. I've spent over the past 16 years being a top producer year over year, 6 figures, hundreds of thousands of transactions closing per year. Me and my team working together diligently, part as one unit. So here are some prospecting tips. You've got 2 things to prospect for, right? You have to prospect for a seller, you got to prospect for a buyer. Why don't we start with a buyer? How do we prospect for a buyer the most effective way? Well, one of the things you want to do is you want to wear your uniform. You want to make sure, one of the things I like to do is I like to wear my name badge. I like to wear my name badge, and you know, my name badge says the word like real estate agent on it. Or it says realtors, you know, you're part of the National Association of Realtors, so you have that right to say that with the little registered trademark. You know, be compliant and have a name badge. Some of my team members, they will have a wrap, a whole wrap on the car. You know, some of my team members, they will have just a magnet. But me personally, I like the name badge. And mine is kind of like flashy. Because whenever I step into the bank or I step into the supermarket or something, just to stop and get something, even on my way back home or to get lunch, people 9 times out of 10 they're looking at my chest. I'm telling you, all the time. And for me, I just love it because I might have the car might be outside, but my name badge is on me at all times. So having that name badge is one thing. And then what happens with your name badge after you wear it and interact with people is the most important thing. You need to give your elevator pitch because they're going to see that you're a realtor. And I mean, just the other day, this lady, I think it was at the dry cleaners. I was at dry cleaners and I have my name badge on. I didn't even realize it. It's like just, wearing clothes to me. So she says, oh, so you only do real estate in South Florida? I said, no, why do you ask? I've got a network all over the nation, all over the world, really. And she says, oh, I move into this state. I said, okay, well, if you need some help, it's wonderful. And we start talking about pre-approvals and pre-qualifications. Look at that. I didn't even, it was so effortless. Wear a name badge, okay? That helps you. Another thing that helps me to get that buyer on my side is to be able to do workshops. Find the ability for you to get out there and do some workshops in a group of people. When you bring people together, that's good stuff. You always want to make sure that you have a sign-in sheet and get all of their names and all of their emails and their phone number, and you want to check it just before you end that workshop. You want to get that sheet, you just put that 5 minutes before you end. That's when you say, hey, I have a gift for you guys for coming out today, and thank you so much. Before we provide you with the gift, excuse me, who has that sign-in sheet? Let me have that, please. Get the sign-in sheet. Just look a quick look, be like, okay, this one, I've not seen this clearly. Or have your assistant help you. Make sure you get those numbers, get that information, because you need it to go inside of your database so you could start to data mine. Very important that you build a database. From day one, when you start your real estate practice, you have to build a database. You know, starting your real estate practice is it's a sweet kickoff. Because let me tell you something. Day one of me getting my real estate license, I sold my first house. Yep. Day one, make a deal. For sure. In my book, The Art and Science of the Real Estate Agent, take a look at that book. Click below and see the link. If not, you could just Google that. And it talks about my very first day. Getting my license is about midday at about 12 or 1 o'clock, and getting everything ramped up so much that at 7 p.m. that evening, I sold my first house. Amazing. You need to be prepared. Be ready to go. You never know when that right buyer is going to come for you. So I'm speaking from experience, and I'm speaking from a very confident way of telling you that you can be that top producer that you want to be. And if you are right now and you want to take your game to the next level and build a team or whatever it is that you seek, you could do that. You could do that. Now, prospecting for buyers. The techniques that I've just shared with you are really good, and you want to write them down and you want to use them. Another good technique for you to prospect with a buyer is for you to be able to interact with people. I'm talking about, just as I told you the story of the dry cleaners, that's one way, but it was just nonchalant, right? But if you purposely go out and just interact, go to association meetings that you're allowed to go to and start to meet some of the board members or the people that own in that community, and let them know that you are the top realtor inside of this community. I may not live here, but this is my farm area. This is my prospecting area. And I just wanted to let you know that anybody that wants to sell their home or rent their home or buy in here, I'm the one to work with. You know, most of the times over the years, whenever I work a community like in my farm area, I do all the things I tell you. And another thing that I do is I'll take my business cards, or a couple of them. And when I meet the guard at the gate, if there's a guard physically, you know, I'll chat for a little bit, you know, because I've come and gone a couple of times, right? And I will just say to them, right about the last few times I'm going in, and I know I build a nice rapport, I'll say to them, hey, look, you know, do you know anyone that would like to buy in this community or anywhere else? Do you know? Do you know? I'm not asking them in any other way, but do you know? Because I want to pull that out of their mind. They say, hey, you know, I've got somebody, my cousin, my aunt. Okay, great. Can I give you a stack of my cards? And when someone come to you and say, because buyers sometimes drives up to a community and to a guard and say, hey, and it's happened to me several times before over the last 16 years, that's for sure. I get a prospect calling in, a buyer calling in to me. And I said, so where did you get my information from? Oh, the guard at the gate gave them my business card. Can you believe that? Absolutely, it happens. Number one, the guard liked me. I made sure of that. Number two, they had my business card to give out, because when the people are driving up to the subdivision and the guard tells them, wait, no, stop, you can't come in, I'm sorry. You need a realtor to escort you. Yes, that's what I love, because they will just, if they remember you and they like you, hey, listen, for all I know, go give them donuts once a week if you want to, but make sure they have your card. They're going to give that buyer that comes up the number, and then the buyer's compelled to call you because they want to see the property. So they just pull the car over and they probably like, ring, 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 ring. Hello, Paul Atkinson here, you know. And you say, introduce yourself, and they would say, hey, I'm trying to get into this subdivision to see a home. The guard gave me a gate. And you would just, the guard at the gate gave me your information. And you would just turn around and say to them that, okay, wonderful. Are you pre-approved, or will this be cash, or you'll be doing a loan? That's the way I like to ask it. Will this be cash, or you're doing a mortgage? Oh, I'm doing a mortgage. Have you been pre-approved already? Oh yeah, wonderful, great, excellent. I can be out there in 15 minutes. Do you have some more properties that you'd like to see? Because I need some time to pull everything I have in the subdivision. And you're not working with a realtor or anything, are you? Okay, wonderful. Can I be your agent of record? Oh, wonderful. I'll bring a form with me just so we can concrete things. Is that okay? Oh, sure, okay. Build a relationship. So working, these are techniques and these are tips for working with a buyer. Now, let's talk about the sellers real quick. What are some of the tips and techniques to work with a seller? Sellers are the king. You having a seller is a king, ace in the hole. When you have a seller, it drives you to more listings. It drives you to a ton of buyers, and it's just amazing. So my number one, of course, way of working and prospecting for a seller is to go after expired listings and canceled listings. Whenever those come up in my marketplace, I go out and I knock on the door, or I make that phone call if I have a dialer system going, whatever it is, work that seller lead. That's the number one thing. Number two, an open house. An open house event will bring you more sellers. Make sure you have a detailed description about the property, and most importantly, 1 hour before you do the open house or 1 hour afterwards. I kind of like to do it afterwards because that way I kind of get some sellers to come in and interact with me, and I'm really friendly and just be cool, relax. And they'll tell me more about the community in our conversation. So I always plan at the end of my open house to have about 2 hours or 3 hours to mingle around the community with my flyers about the property that I'm selling, and also the flyer on my one page, what I do for a seller. And so I'll take those two things, and I'll go out and I will knock on the doors of the sellers that I've not met, introduce myself, tell them I am the listing agent for the house over there. I even like to call the names. Hello, hi, good afternoon. My name is Paul Atkinson. I am with so-and-so, and I'm the listing agent for Bob and Sue. Bob and Sue just list their house, and I brought you a detailed description just so you could see the inside of it. Would you like to see inside of it? Just like that. Come on, what's so hard about that? You could do it, and it's fun. It's fun. So just do it, relax, and just know that these are my tips, these are my techniques, and they're amazing. Click the subscribe button. More importantly, click the link below to get more in-depth techniques of how you can master your sales skills, how you could get more sellers and more buyers coming to you. Click that button below. So until next time, hey, you know what I like to say, guys? Go get 'em, Tiger. I see you soon.